Oh, so 10 years ago, I'm going through this battle in my basement, and it's about 10 years ago, about this day when I had to, right at the beginning of the month, right May 1st or so. I didn't last more than a week at that place. I thought I was endangered. I was telling my wife and my parents that we need to get the heck out of Dodge. We're not safe here. Unfortunately, they never set me straight. They never. There was little that was real about this. It was very, very surreal in that it was like a video game. I was playing this wild video game, and I'm like launching these virtual balls of fire and machine guns and defending myself, and I'm getting hits coming in on a radar. I should almost show you kind of let's see if I can maybe show you how this radar worked. One second. Well, I could drop a map and I have to install some software in order to show it, show it on the screen here, but it is very much similar to a radar, kind of a colored version of radar. That's almost like you may be seeing like air traffic where planes are flying around, or you can even see, with radar you can see missiles kind of coming in. So here's me on the center of the map, and there's, mainly this was in place. I could sort of see a visual in my mind of sort of like what my visual was. I went Care 11 News, and I saw their map of Minnesota, and so I know where I'm at, and I know that general vicinity. That's what I kind of see. I'm kind of seeing the map, kind of like colorful map, but I'm seeing dots. I'm seeing red dots around me, indicating that these are trouble spots. These are people that are putting a hit on me. And mostly this took place when I moved to Redwood, and it was just that's where it got really pretty wild over there. It's seeing the red dots, the culminating in Minneapolis, and then over here sometimes in Sioux Falls it would culminate. And of course it would be a slow ride, it would take 2 hours to get to me, either from Sioux Falls or from Minneapolis. So it was like it was real. It was like it was in real time. These red dots would gradually get to me, and they wouldn't get much within, I'd say, I don't know, I take care of the problem. It varied, but I took care of it an hour away, or I took care of it 2 minutes away. I'd wake up. This would be the time when I wake up. A few times I'd wake up with the heart bumping, and I have to eliminate the problem, and the heart will go back to normal. And it was just so weird at my folks' place. It was like there was people. It's like I had the CIA outside, hiding behind a tree or hiding in the bushes. I couldn't see anybody that was there for real. But it just seemed like it was real. It just seemed like, and I'm like at the head. I'm like the forefront. We're doing the comms thing. It's like they've got a team of 8 psychics, and we're all keeping in comms. And then they have like the conventional comms where they're communicating with phones or something. But I'm like in total psychic communication, and we're sort of a team of psychics, a team of comms people. And I can talk to all of them at once, or I can just talk to one. And I normally made it so I could talk to just one at a time, just one, and relay the information to one, maybe 2. And it just seemed like a really kind of a wild, cool life in some sense, in that I just felt like I was a 007. I'm actually 000. And I'm off, defending the world, keeping everybody off me, and what's the James Bond, I'm like James Bond, who's you know, eluding death at every moment. And it was quite a ride. I mean, seriously, man, I kind of wish y'all could experience something like that. It was actually pretty damn fun, except for the fact that I wasn't getting anything real coming across from it, except for I got put into another cage in June. Wasn't getting anything that was real. I guess it just sucked having that foreplay in which I thought I was going to have this harem of ladies. I think that's what really got me frustrated, was that I thought that was going to occur. I thought that at any given day it was going to occur. And during this, you know, between May and June, so 2 months was pretty eventful. I took a trip, I think at the beginning of June, down to the Bahamas for a week or two, and that was like wild, man. I'll tell you about that in another story. But one second. I should talk a little bit about this. The reason for this female thing, this foreplay that was going on. In part, I should talk a little bit about what happened in January, February, March, and in the first half and part of April, and the leading up to this, and the understanding that these ladies that I had this harem or something. I just want to talk a little bit about this psychic thing that occurred. Ladies would show up on the boob tube, on the TV, and they would call up in my head. It would be like a ringing sensation. It would just escalate, be like, start here, and it would be like I don't know if I can quite explain it. It'd be like it just full of energy, that's it. And then I would tell the comms, the CIA comms, yeah, this her, she's one, she's a lady, she's another. And so this, in other words, another lady for the hair. So, and I guess before the morph, I probably went through 200 of these, whether it was the 42 initial original babes, or just people on the TVs, the celebrities were calling up, and it was just like, yeah, that's a lot of foreplay. I guess you had that big. I guess it's kind of like being told you're a millionaire, in which I was told that too, but and it never occurs. It just never keeps. Everybody's gonna say, yeah, you're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be a millionaire. And it just never occurs. It's kind of like the same thing. It's something exciting, you know, and it just didn't happen. And that was the foreplay. That's what made me so frustrated. Kind of jumping around a little bit, but back to the hits. Well, this map, this radar, where I got the red, you know, that was a wild ride, and I guess what I would do with my powers is, you know, sometimes I'll just take the car and just launch them into a river or something. My main thing I was doing was heart bombs. I would just throw a firecracker in their ventricle, and just their heart would blow apart, and they would just die. That was. By the way, when I say these things that they died and all that, it's not really real. It's how can I say it? I think it was true, but they all came back alive at the end of this journey, approximately end of June. Everything was transformed back to normal. Actually, it was all normal the whole time. It was. I don't know how people could actually truly die and yet be back. I'm not sure how that can be, but unless they were really dead, unless they got wind that they were really dead, then they were really alive after the journey. So, and I never got wind that anybody ever really died during this journey that I was on from May to end of June. But back to the radar, and So I'm defending myself. There's just a lot of stuff going. It's like a daily event of doing this and that. And now I would go occasionally go into, I think it was Donovan's at the time or some place in there. Yeah, and meet the face of somebody who's actively trying to waste me. Got the paid $10,000 to take me out, and it's just yeah. But it wasn't real. It's just like they're just acting normal. It's just this is eyeing me. They'd be eyeing me. They would be eyeing me as though as though I'm some kind of troublemaker of some sort. Who could imagine? But eventually, I mean, they started getting wind of. I started getting wind of guided missiles going to be used, and I think a lot of them are coming out of Seattle. I didn't understand how that could be worked. As the radar map, I see a weather map of the U.S. or something like that, and or whatever map I had of and I would just see a red dot. I mean, right over Seattle. I'm like, what the heck is going on in Seattle? People got weapons over there. It's like, and then it would come out of. So there was guided missile attacks, and the same way that they would have to come in through a truck or something. It would be a slow motion red dot that would literally be hours before they would show up on my radar again, and then they would fire it, and I would see it coming at me on my radar, pretty much at the speed of a missile would be. And I don't think I had any wake-ups. The stress attack wake-up, 200 beats a minute with a guided missile. I think that was mostly hitmen with rifles, but I can't remember. But it was pretty. It's kind of wild. I mean, it seemed kind of real, just the way that it was kind of slow moving, and then they would set up, and then they would fire. And I'm sure there's a lot more, action to this, and then I'm just remembering it. I know that was pretty wild ride. And I met my parents, and it's kind of like, I didn't really say anything to my wife. I barely said anything to my mother or father. But they would sometimes say something that was in my world, and it would just freak me out. I mean, it wouldn't freak me out. It'd be like, this is real. This is real. Those missile attacks were going international, though. I mean, there were people overseas were I was like hearing phone calls of over in the Middle East and stuff, and I think I think Saudi Arabia, Middle East, I think. But over there somewhere is just, so they were, they're bringing in, I think they were going to bring in nuclear missiles or something, and I think that was one thought. That may have actually occurred. I think that guided missiles may have actually occurred a little later on or something. I'm not sure. I mean, nuclear missiles. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if that was tried or not. Maybe once. Then there's this thing, this on a psychic level, there's this thing called spiritual sex, and it's where I can, when I get off, I can hook other people on psychically into a circle of love and give them the energy, and oh God, nothing like having foreplay of a couple hundred ladies to, and then of course they all want to try this, right? So it'd be like a one-on-one session for a while, for days or weeks, and then I would eventually group them up so I didn't have to. I'm getting tired. It's not just tiring to do this, to masturbate to these, but it's frustrating because it's like, well, where's the realist? Where are they real? Is this real or what? So it was like eventually I grouped them up into like hundreds or thousands or whatever, and that's kind of like experiment with that. So that's kind of a psychic thing.